want to wish you a happy new year. It's 2021. We haven't seen you since New Year's has come, and it's been an exciting one. We are so excited to be back. What was formerly Artist Live is now Art Center Live, and we have a lot of exciting friends and guests who are going to be joining us so that you can learn some new things, enjoy, have a good time. So we hope that you'll be joining us. And this week and next week, we are going to be talking about the art of conversation. What do we mean by that? Well, I don't know about you, but I am really tired of Netflix and Amazon Prime. I am tired at staring at a screen, my computer, my television. Sometimes I want to relax and just enjoy somebody talking to me. Think about when you were little and your mom or dad read you a story. Well, you know how you can get that experience? You can do that with podcasts. And there are so many interesting podcasters out there sharing information and telling their stories. And we are really fortunate today because we have a fabulous podcaster here with us all the way from San Diego. I'd like to introduce everybody to my friend Bianca Wulwick. Hi, Bianca.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be the first guest of 2021.
Well, we are thrilled that you could join us. And who's sitting there with you?
This is Bourdain. He is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and he decided he wanted to be in my lap for this.
Well, that is wonderful, because what do we know about Marco Island Center for the Arts? We are a dog-friendly venue. So please, we would love to see you. And if you want to come in with your furry friend, as long as they're well-behaved, bring them on in. Now, Bianca, you are a podcaster, and you started your podcast, and it is called Please Don't Kick Me Out.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about both the title, and I know because I read about it that it has to do with the imposter syndrome. What is the imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome, it's a very common human emotion. It's not really seen as like a mental disorder or anything like that. It's just the feeling of not being able to accept one's accomplishments. So when you've achieved something, not being able to accept that, the fear of someone finding you out to be a fraud, that's really what it is. It has two very scary words, imposter and syndrome, but really it's just a human emotion that a lot of people feel. And so I started this podcast after my worst fear happened. I got laid off. I was a marketing director of a Fortune 500 furniture company. I got laid off, and I'd always wanted to start a podcast, and I had imposter syndrome thinking about launching a podcast. Would anyone listen to it? Does anyone want to be a guest? And it's been pretty successful. I've interviewed people all over the world, and I've gotten to their story and get people's advice of how they've kind of battled themselves. And really, when you start to be doing things for yourself in your true authentic form, and you follow your heart, like that's when imposter syndrome tends to go away. Those shoulder devils stop talking to you.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. I think we can all be our worst saboteurs sometimes, and really it's through the power of positive thinking that we can rise above challenges or our fears. So thank you for clarifying that. Now, I know you've done a lot of podcasts because we're going to do a live feed about how people can access podcasts. Can you tell people a little bit about how they can access yours, though? I know I go to your website and I listen, but what are ways that people can find you and listen to your podcast?
Yeah, I use a hosting site called Anchor.fm. It's free if you are thinking about creating a podcast. It makes it very, very easy to also syndicate and monetize it. So when I say syndicate, that means it goes to places like Spotify. If you listen to podcasts or music on Spotify and have a subscription, or you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, which you have an Apple smartphone. There's also Google Podcasts, should you have an Android. And then there's other smaller platforms that also syndicates to, and it's all for free. There's no gated content. You're allowed to listen to it on whatever medium you choose.
Excellent. Well, I know, as I said, I tend to listen to it when I'm at home and I plug it in on my computer, but then I just sit back in my chair and relax and listen to you. Now, I've listened to several, but I'm curious, what are some of your favorite interviews that you've done with people, and why?
Yeah, they're all my favorite. I mean, I have to say that so that no one gets hurt feelings, of course. But everyone is interesting. Everyone has a story. A lot of time when people, I ask them to be a guest or they get nervous before they even start, they hear themselves back and they go, "Wow, actually, I sounded really normal." I would say for me, the podcasts that have dealt with LGBTQIA terms and themes, such as Dame Charlie Hyde from season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race, or Brandon and Michaela from season 1, episode 2 of HBO's We're Here, which was a really beautiful story, or even my friend Carolina, who came out as a trans woman on my podcast. So I've been able to share some really beautiful stories. I've also been able to touch on topical topics that challenge the ideas of like what was going on in the summer of last year, and just different topics. So I've been able to expand upon those. So it's been a nice platform to kind of help my listeners educate themselves.
That's wonderful. I mean, I know from listening to you, what I seem to find as a common thread, at least for the podcasts that I listen to, they're very inspiring. And, you know, I could sit and I could read sort of a self-help book, but again, it is people's stories. It is the human narrative that connects us and is what sort of lifts my spirit. And certainly in this last year that's been rather challenging, I found that I really, really enjoy it. I would like to talk a little bit about you having started this. Now, you said that you had lost your job. You're in San Diego now, but you're not originally from San Diego, are you?
No, I was actually born in Minnesota. I lived here till I was 10 and moved to Colorado. I am a military spouse. I met my husband when he had a joint billet at an Air Force command. My husband was a lieutenant in the Navy, so that brought us to San Diego. We own a home out here in East County, San Diego. And we plan to, when he's got 15 years in right now, but we plan to, when he's out, retire out here, and keep our life going out here, because San Diego is a place that we both love.
Well, it is beautiful, and you guys are going to be actually heading off to another warm and sunny place when your husband gets back. Is that correct?
Yes, my husband's currently deployed, but when he gets back, we'll be moving to Hawaii. We'll be there for 3 years. I know life is so tough for me, huh?
It's rough. It's rough. Beautiful dog, fabulous husband. But I also know you're a bit of a foodie. Have you done any podcasts talking to people about food, which personally I find very inspirational?
I have kind of touched on it a little bit in my own podcast, but I've actually interviewed a man named Eddie McNamara, and he wrote a book called Toss Your Own Salad. It's about vegetarian and vegan inspired recipes. But in general, like I love food. I mean, I'm wearing pizza earrings, a shirt with pizza, a rat eating pizza on it. Pizza to me symbolizes life, so that's just kind of my brand and my theme. And so I wish that more was open right now for me right here personally, because I love the service industry, the restaurant industry, of course, but yes, I do love food.
And pizza is a pretty good thing, because pizza, even when it's not that good, it's still really good. And it's good hot, it's good cold. I'm also a big fan of pizza, and I'm assuming you can get it delivered where you are, so you don't have to go out, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. I want to ask you a little bit, you decided to do this, clearly you've got a lot going on in your life. You're a new puppy mom, you're managing while your husband is away. What was it that really inspired you? Because as I said, what you do as a podcaster is conversation. It's what we do now. And I think people don't always realize that conversation, and indeed encouraging people to tell their stories, is its own art form. We're almost creating our own oral history here as we connect in this way. What was really your inspiration in starting your podcast?
I think we didn't really know what we know now at the beginning of last year. And for me, I thought, well, I don't know when I'll be working again and what I want to do next. But what I do know is I like creating. I'm pretty creative, and I haven't had a way to have a creative outlet. And my husband, when we moved to San Diego, we drove both cars separately at a different time, and we would just listen to podcasts the whole way to San Diego both times. So I feel like I kind of just became more in love with that medium and that art form, because we were learning a lot, and we're laughing when it was funny. Nicole Byer is one of my inspirations as a comedian and a podcaster. She has like a million podcasts, and she's really funny. So for me, it's just that I really wanted to try it out and see if I was any good at it, and then I just kind of stuck with it. And to me, I look at it as my pandemic portfolio of this is the time capsule of time I'm leaving. I did something positive.
That's amazing. I mean, it's funny when you say time capsule because I don't know if you know this, Marco Island Center for the Arts celebrated 50 years in 2020, and it wasn't quite the party we thought we were going to have, but one of the things that we do have is a magnificent space time capsule. The time capsule part is a tube that's about, must be about 6 feet, and it fits into a 500 pound plus stainless steel hand-painted replica of the Friendship 7 space capsule. So we are going to be looking to seal that, and it will capture where we've been this year. I think it's very interesting because I work with a lot of artists and performers and singers, and this year has been very interesting. And while it's been frustrating because you can't go out, you can't do things, a lot of the people I know who are artistic have used the time to sort of reach inside themselves and learn new things or really find some creativity or skills that they didn't know they have. And it sounds like this was something that really happened for you, because I suspect whatever you choose to do next, this podcast is something that you'll continue with. At least I certainly hope you do, because I really, really enjoy them.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like my listeners would be kind of bummed out if suddenly I was like, and I'm done. But there's just so many stories to tell, and this, what I encourage people, if they listen to it and they go, oh, can I be a guest? It's like everyone has a story to tell. If this has impacted you in whatever way, your story is still interesting. It's going to change someone else's life by hearing it. So it's worth exploring that if you've ever wanted to be a podcast guest.
Well, that is the case, and perhaps we will find some people in our world that we suggest to you. But we are thrilled that you could join us today, Bianca, and you too, Bourdain. We are thrilled to have you both, and we look forward to sharing your podcast. We will certainly put the information out when we post this, and we hope that all goes well and that for all of us this pandemic ends sooner rather than later, so that we can return to our regular lives and go out, and maybe instead of having pizza sent in for you, you can go out and have it in a restaurant. Would be nice, right? All of our friends, we're thrilled to be back with you, and I want to just tell you a few things that are going to be going on here at the Marco Island Center for the Arts. We, of course, have classes and workshops that are running. You can take them on site. You can take them online. You can go to our website, check it out, or come on in and pick up a catalog. One way or another, we'd love for you to explore the creative impulses that you have and maybe learn something new while things are a little quiet still. Also, this Saturday, we'll be hosting our annual chalk art right in the circle in front of our building. It is for the young and the young at heart. No cost. Come on down. Explore, create, leave your mark here at the Marco Island Center for the Arts. And last but not least, January 30th, 2021 will be the day of our Fly Me to the Moon and Let Me Play Among the Arts Gala. Yes, we are having a gala here outside in the parking lot under a tent, but in the open air, socially distanced, very safe. And we do have a few tickets left. So if you're interested, give us a call at 239-394-4221 or go on our website at www.marcoislandart.org, because we would love to see you there. It is going to be a night full of fun and a great way to support the Marco Island Center for the Arts. Well, Miss Bianca, we are so happy you could join us. We hope that all of our Art Center friends and family are going to check out Bianca's podcast. It is something that you will really enjoy. A lot of you are home, and it's a way to relax, feel inspired, and learn something new with our lovely friend here. I mean, you'll only hear her voice now, but now you've seen her and you know just how magnificent she is, and you'll think of her with her little puppy. So please do that, and know that Whether you're at home, whether you're here at the Art Center, you are part of our Art Center family, and we are always your art home. We'll see you on Thursday with another podcaster. Bye-bye, everybody.